Welcome back in, Bears fans. It is a football Friday. It is time for Bears Latest. Today is May the 9th, and we have a new Pope. Congratulations to Pope Leo the 14th, also known as Cardinal Robert Provost, who is a native of Chicago and is a Bears fan. Wow, our new Pope is a fan of the greatest team ever created in sports history, hands down. And we have some extra blessings on our side. So, congratulations, Pope Leo. We wish you great success and wouldn't mind if you could slip a few Hail Marys our way and bring us some extra luck along the way. It did come with a little bit of jest, though. Annie Agar, who is an NFL influencer, and unfortunately a Green Bay Packers fan, decided to take to the Twitter sphere today and say that Chicago was able to produce a Pope before the Bears could produce a QB that could throw 4,000 yards plus. Well, I want to thank you, Annie, because you have just given Caleb Williams, Ben Johnson, and these Chicago Bears the perfect motivation to go out there and to destroy Eric Kramer's single season record of 38-38. I foresee that he will throw for over 4,000 yards. He will have his ups and downs and bumps and bruises, but I truly believe with Ben Johnson's system and a guy in Caleb Williams that is going to be disciplined and is going to be held to a high standard, I truly believe that that record will be shattered and this chick will be able to eat her words. And yes, Pope Leo could use a little bit of extra sway on that. So wanted to start off with just a little bit of fun there, but still very much Bears worthy. So let's move on. Jadeveon Clowney, now former Carolina Panthers defensive lineman Jadeveon Clowney is now a free agent. The Panthers let him go today. They saved about $8.5 million by cutting him and letting him hit the free agent market. Now, I'm a little skeptical about this because I feel like Jadeveon Clowney and Zadarius Smith are basically the same exact player. They're pretty much the same in age, except I believe that Jadeveon Clowney might be a little bit younger. They're right around that 32, 33 range. A 1-year deal, the Bears could look at doing that and pairing one of those guys with Montez Sweat. I wouldn't hate it, but I also know that we've got other guys on this team that are ready to contribute, and it's hard to say. Does one of these guys end up fitting what Dennis Allen wants on the line? So as much as I'd like to go ahead and just start plugging and playing and everything and assume that, just because this guy who is a 3-time Pro Bowler and still had 5.5 sacks last season with 46 tackles, I mean, which for his age, that's pretty productive. I don't know what the money's going to look like, and I don't want to hold back any players that are going to be ascending. So, stay tuned and see. I mean, this will probably be another situation, kind of like with our running backs. We're probably not going to be making any sort of free agent signings until we get done with mandatory camps, organized activities. So we're talking maybe the beginning of June, we could probably see some movement there. And not just movement for the Bears, but just in the league in general. So what do you guys think about Jadeveon Clowney potentially being a Bear? You like it? Not like it? If you don't like it, who would you rather see the Bears go out and fetch? Would you like them to go out and get Zadarius Smith? Would you like to see Von Miller, which we have not talked much about Von Miller, and I'm not going to eat up any time to do that now, but that is another name that could be considered. Or the Bears going to get much more aggressive and maybe go out and trade for Trey Hendrickson from Cincinnati. Again, we haven't really discussed that. I'm not going to go into it, but there are lots of options. Or we're going to find out that we have the pieces that we need already in-house and we move forward. So Stay tuned. All right. So we have just before the start of rookie minicamp, we have 5 of our draft picks signed to to their rookie deals. And those are none other than obviously Colston Loveland. We have Ruben Hippolyte, Zay Frazier, Luke Newman, and Kyle Monangai. So they are already under contract. So we're waiting to tie up loose ends with Shamar Stewart, obviously Luther Burden. I believe that might be. Oh, and Ozzy Trapillo. Sorry about that. Faux pas on my fart there. On my fart. Anyway, sorry about that. You won't get any more of that today. Anyways, so those guys are under contract. We just need to shore up the rest of the draft picks and get off and running here. Also want to talk about jersey numbers. So I always like to see what jersey numbers players end up with to start off their careers. And Colson Loveland has already picked 84. Luther Burden has picked 87, which I always think of as Emery Moorhead. I also think of Mushin Muhammad when he was still with the Bears. Ozzy Trapillo is going to be 75. Kyle Long, 75. Jamar Turner is going to be 95. Ruben Hippolyte is 47. Hopefully he will play better than Craig Stelz ever did for the Bears. Please, please, please. Zay Frazier is going to be number 20. Luke Newman is 65. And Kyle Monangai, 25. That's pretty good looking start right there for these guys. Don't know what our UDFAs are going to be wearing yet. Those have not been announced. And as of right now, I haven't heard anything officially about their deals being agreed to because they have to have their physicals first. So once that becomes official, then I'm sure you're going to definitely be seeing some jersey numbers released. So stay tuned on that. That's coming down the pike there. So without further ado, we have reached the meat and potatoes portion of today's show. And as promised, I was going to talk about the way, way too early 53-man projections. This is subject to change. I've already went through and have scribbled and scratched and made amendments and additions, subtractions. So this is very much a work in progress. But what I can tell you with confidence is that your quarterback room is already set. Caleb Williams is your QB1, Tyson Bagent, QB2, Case Keenum, QB3. And I think this quarterback room looks stellar compared to what we've had in previous years. I love the fact that we've got a veteran like Case Keenum in there who has also been a part of high-powered, potent offenses and is going to be able to provide some really good mentorship in there and will be able to help Caleb and even Tyson Bagent. There could be times where he's going to be thrusted in to have cleanup duty, or, they might be clinching a playoff spot, knock on wood. And they may need Tyson to go in there and play and run that offense. Or something, heaven forbid, happens to Caleb, next man up. And the way this organization likes Tyson Bagent and the way that he works and is a very smart quarterback, good intangibles, he could succeed as well. I think Caleb would set him up for success. So that's your QB room right there. Going right on to running backs. Now this one I was back and forth on. I'm taking 5 running backs here. Obviously, not going to use them all in the backfield. Some of these guys are going to be special teams guys as well. But I also think that there's opportunities for Ben to do a little bit of scheming, that maybe he'll be able to put together plays that might be able to use some of these players in those formations. In no particular order, DeAndre Smith, Roshan Johnson, Ian Wheeler, which unfortunately he was a training camp surprise last year and was making waves until he was injured and placed on IR to end the year. but he he's going to make the team. Kyle Monangai and Travis Homer. Travis Homer is a great special teamer, can return. He can be he can be out there to cover and tackle. So I think that's what your running back room is going to look at right there. So wideout room: DJ Moore, Rome Odunze, Luther Burton III, Devin Duvernay for his return abilities, Olamide Zacchaeus, and Tyler Scott. I really thought long and hard about this because Tyler Scott has been on this team for a few seasons now, and he has not gotten over the hump. He he's dropped passes, he's fumbled. He just has turned out to be meh so far. But I'm optimistic that Ben will be able to work with him, and as well as Antoine Randall L, and they can work on his game a little bit. And maybe Hightower can find ways to use him a little bit better, whether it be in the return game or just to be an all-out special teamer. Skies could still be the limit, but he's going to have to show something here, and he's going to have to show it quick in training camp because there's a lot of good talent in here right now. We even have a couple of undrafted free agents that are wideouts that could even come in and make a name for themselves. So he's going to need to show up. But as of right now, he has made my 53. For the tight end room, kind of like the QB room, it's pretty well set as of right now. Cole Kmet, Colston Loveland, and Durham Smythe. This tight end room is completely different than what last year's looked like. I see a lot of 12 personnel here. I see a team that is going to be very balanced with how they run their tight ends, blocking and passing, receiving. I think you're going to still see Cole Kmet doing a lot of grunt work on the blocks, but I also think that there's going to be times when Colston Loveland goes out, he's going to end up being some sort of decoy, and I think that Cole Kmet will take advantage of that. Or when our wideouts are being covered by shutdown corners, they're going to be able to take advantage in the middle and in the intermediate area. So I think this room is a million times better than last year. I think you're going to see some great things with this tight end group. All right, offensive line. This one's a tough one. I think both the O-line and D-line are the toughest ones to project right now. But I think I put together a pretty good crew. Darnell Wright, Ozzie Trapillo, Joe Tooney, Jonah Jackson, Drew Dahlman, Doug Kramer, Braxton Jones, Karan Amagaji, and Bill Murray. I did not put Ryan Bates on here. I think Ryan Bates is a cap casualty. And I don't think we are losing a whole lot here. Because I think that the fact that we've re-signed Doug Kramer, we re-signed Bill Murray, I think those guys will make the team. They will be reserve pieces on this line. And I think Karan Amagaji is going to take a step forward. I also think that if one of these guys didn't make it, I truly think that Luke Newman would be able to step up and be a part of that line, that O-line room. But as of right now, I've got Luke Newman on the practice squad. That's how much better our talent has improved with the O-line. It may not be perfect still, but we made some heavy investments here, and I feel more confident going into the season knowing that we have a chance for Caleb to not be absolutely decimated. So defensive line, might as well stay in the trenches, just flip it over. We've got Montez Sweat, Dio Ogdengbo, Kamar Turner, Grady Jarrett, Jervon Dexter Sr., Austin Booker, Andrew Billings, Chris Williams. I did have Daniel Hardy listed at first, and part of me still feels like he should be on this list, but Daniel Hardy made a name for himself in the preseason. He was productive, and then almost for the most part until near the end of the season, fell off the radar. Chris Williams we traded from Cleveland last year, and I don't believe that they are done with him yet. So I do believe he's still in. Dom Rob is not on our team at all. Zach Pickens, no. I'm ready to cut losses with those guys and move forward. So that's what the line's looking like. Our backers, Tremaine Edmonds, TJ Edwards, Ruben Hippolyte, Amen Ogbemiga, Noah Sewell, and Sways Bozeman. And I signed or I had kept Sways because he was on special teams in Kansas City. And as we know, Kansas City has had phenomenal special teams over the years with Dave Tobe, former Bears coach. But I thought that was a good signing right there, and that happened right at the start of the off season. So I think that you're going to see 6 backers to start with. I think that there's going to be some really good opportunities to really beef up our special teams core. I think you're going to see some good opportunities for those guys. And then if anybody did need to go down or need to be take a breather, I think there's a good rotation right there. So corners. Corners are another really strong group right now. I got Jalen Johnson, Tyreek Stevenson, Kyler Gordon, Terrell Smith, Zay Frazier, and Josh Blackwell. Josh Blackwell is on this list because of his special teams abilities. But I'll tell you what, there were games last season that Josh Blackwell showed up and played well, as did Terrell Smith. This is a very deep room right here, and I think that a lot of people are going to be surprised by Zay Frazier. A lot of people think that he went later than he should have, and there's a lot of good talent there. So, but that's what I'm looking at there for our corners. And then over in the safety side of things, Kevin Byard, Elijah Hicks, Jonathan Owens, Jaquan Brisker. Now, I will say this: we have a couple of undrafted free agents that we signed that also play safety. LSU's Major Burns, Oregon's Tasheen Johnson. We had some deep dives into them the other week and talked about them. If they come into training camp, and it all starts tomorrow for them technically, they come into rookie camp, getting into OTAs, training camp, they come in and they make a difference right off the bat. If they gel with not only their teammates, but they are able to buy into Dennis Allen's vision, and they play well. I could see a guy like Kevin Byard being cut. Yeah, I know he's going into his final year, but I could also see us saving some cap money right there and invest that in other areas of need. Everything I've heard about these 2 safeties so far has been nothing but positive. They've come from great schools. They've had, good defensive backs over their time. I would just be curious to see how the adjustment to the NFL will be for these guys. But just a name to watch out for. That could be a potential casualty, depending on play. So keep an eye on that this summer. We've got to finish up special teams. So obviously Torrey Taylor is going to be our punter. Cairo Santos for now is our kicker, and Scott Daly is our lone snapper. So basically the same setup that we had last year for the most part. And then for practice squad normally holds 16 players. So I went ahead and I put together 16 players that I think will be considered by the Bears. Austin Reed at quarterback, Deion Hankins, running back from Texas State that we've talked a little bit about, offensive lineman Ricky Stromberg, Luke Newman, Theo Benedette, who was on Hard Knocks last season and had some very funny moments to go along with his pretty good play as well. Tight end Stephen Carlson, linebacker Carl Jones, corners Sean Wade, Nick McLeod, also both very good players that have started in this league, have been on squads. That's how deep our cornerback room is these guys are the next ones up if anything happens to our guys. Xavier Carlton, defensive end. We've talked a little bit about him. We also have Power Eccles at linebacker. We've talked about Torrey Taylor's former line snapper partner at Iowa, Luke Elkin. We did mention Major Burns and Tasheen Johnson. And then I did kind of hesitate with Cairo Santos a little bit because we did bring in Jonathan Kim from Michigan State. And the last time we had a kicker from Michigan State on this roster was Paul Edinger, and he was pretty good. And from everything I've heard about Kim so far is that he can kick them long, and he has a very strong leg. So it'd be an interesting camp battle because there's another guy that could potentially be cut, Cairo Santos. He did have some struggles last season. So I think bringing in that kicking competition is going to be good for both him and Kim, because if we were to sign him to the practice squad, if he doesn't make the 53, I can see a handful of teams in the NFL swoop in and pick him up right away, and he could potentially be a starter. We'll just have to wait and see how that battle goes. I love good competition, and I think we're going to see a lot of it this summer, especially since Ben has already said that everybody is fighting for a position. We know that's not 100% true because you've got, large contracts that have been signed and things like that. But I love the fact that everybody is on the same level playing field, and everybody is expected to carry their weight. So this is a pretty decent 53 to start. Probably as we get maybe more midway through and get closer to training camp, we'll probably update that again. There could be some free agent signings along the way. There could be cap casualties, like we said. So we'll do another one as we get in just before training camp. So that's it for today, guys. If you like this video, hit the like button. If you have any comments, if you want to share anything that you would do different with the 53, please share it. I would love to see what you guys think and your reasoning behind it. And don't forget to subscribe. Thank you for being a part of this experience. And everybody, have a great weekend and bear down.